getting comfortable in your body is enough. And then just allow yourself to breathe in a very natural way without thinking too hard about it. And I want to emphasize today the exhale. So no matter what we're doing, just really letting the breath out. So exhaling. I sometimes think these kids that I've been with don't exhale at all. There's a constant going, and it's like, do you exhale? So really letting ourselves surrender to the exhale in the flow of what we're doing, in the moment of what we're doing. All right, and now I'm gonna make my way to my mat. I'll guide here in just a minute or so. All right. Let's bring knees into chest and tuck your forearms underneath your knees. So essentially this is the child's pose on our back. And with each exhale, see if you can allow your back body to really soften into the floor. Sort of spread wide, releasing any tension you might feel in your low back. Perhaps you have your eyes closed and you can bring an image of ice to water or butter melting on your griddle before you throw your pancake mix on there. Just letting everything really soften. And then slowly release this. Take the soles of your feet to the floor, arms out wide. Have your feet as wide as the edge of your mat. And then begin to move your knees back and forth with your breath. So inhale to bring the knees up to standing, and then exhale, drop knees to one side. And just go at your own pace. There's never a need to feel like you have to go with even my cueing. So just moving the knees back and forth, feeling into your low back, hips. Okay. And then adding anything here like knees to the right, extend left arm long. Knees to the left, extend right arm long. Just be aware of what your body really wants to do. Maybe both arms overhead and really stretching through your hands, through your arms as you move your knees back and forth. And then the next time your knees just come over to the left, tuck your right up to the left, tuck your left foot on top of your right thigh, just to deepen the stretch, deepen the twist a little bit. If it's uncomfortable, just stack your knees. You don't have to put the foot there, it's just my suggestion. And then you'll inhale, knees up, knees to the right. Take your right foot on top of your left thigh, or left thigh. Just extending or deepening the twist slightly. And then come back to center. And let's stack the knees again. Pull your knees into your chest. crossing at the ankles, and just a rock side to side. Press your low back into the floor. Feel the kidney spaces. So the right side of your lower lumbar, the left side of your lower lumbar. Good. And then take your legs up towards the ceiling, soles of the feet reaching towards the ceiling. So your body's in kind of an L shape here. And just point the toes, flex the ankles. Just work back and forth. Feel some opening through your Achilles tendon, your calves. And keep drawing your navel up and in. And you could circle your feet in one direction, the opposite direction. And then tuck your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg long. Lift your head and shoulders. Press your low back into the floor. And then just switch. Left knee in, right leg long. And go back and forth just a few times here. So core is engaged, so draw navel up and in. One knee in, opposite leg long. And when you've got an even number, set your feet back down to the floor, set your head back down to the floor. And then just a few rounds of rolling bridge. So feet press into the floor, lift your hips, draw your arms behind your head. And exhale, bring that all back down. And again, let the inhale just take care of itself. And see if you can concentrate on the exhale, really just releasing all the breath. At the end of your exhale, you might even draw your navel up and in and really press the air out, press all the air out. Get some nice, fresh air into your system, releasing the stale air. Press hips up, arms behind your head, and then roll it down, articulating through each vertebra. Great. And then you can either roll to one side or cross your ankles, rock yourself up, come on to hands and knees, and right into child's pose. Right into child's pose. Either knees wide, resting your hips between, or your upper body between your knees, or knees together and resting hips on heels, you choose. And while you're in this child's pose, just take a few breaths and think about your sankalpa, your intention for practice today. Really let your back body spread wide. Feel the three-dimensional breath, right? So you want to fill the belly, the back, and the side of the body. On your next inhale, come up to all fours and lengthen sternum away from navel. Then exhale, turn your toes under, press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come back down to your knees, lengthen your sternum away from your navel. And exhale, round and press your hips back, child's pose. Next inhale, come up, all fours, lengthen your sternum away from your navel. Exhale, turn your toes under, press hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come back to the knees, lengthen your sternum away from your navel. Exhale, reach your hips back towards child's pose. If you don't go all the way back, it's fine. And then on your next inhale, stand up on your knees, sweep your arms up, palms together. Maybe take your gaze up to your hands. Exhale, reach out, draw your navel up and in as you come down to child's pose. Inhale, come to all fours, lengthen the sternum away from the navel. Exhale, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. At the end of that exhale, reach your right foot forward between your hands and come back. Lower your left knee to the floor. Then inhale, sweep your arms up. So you're in the 90-90, a low lunge. Inhale the arms up and then exhale, hands down around the front foot. Come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, drop your knees to the floor, lengthen sternum away from navel. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Inhale, stand up on your knees, sweep your arms up, palms together. Maybe take a gaze at your hands. Exhale, draw your navel in, really draw the navel in as you come down to child's pose. Inhale, come up to all fours, sternum away from navel. Exhale, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. At the end of your exhale, bring your left foot forward, right knee to the ground, and inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot, step forward, forward fold. Bend your knees any amount. Inhale, drop your hips, come into a squat, reach your arms forward. Exhale, hands to the mat, press your hips up, drop your head. Good, then from here, you're gonna step your left foot back, knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Step your right knee back. You're on all fours now again. And then come into child's pose. Inhale, come up to all fours. Lengthen your sternum away from your navel. Exhale, turn toes under. Step the hips back. Downward facing dog. At the end of your exhale, bring your right foot forward. Left knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep arms up. Hands together, maybe take a gaze at your hands. Exhale, hands down around the front foot and bring your feet together in a forward fold. Any amount of bend in the knees is fine. Inhale, drop your hips to a full squat and reach the arms out in front. So you're squatting with heels on the floor if possible. Reach your arms out in front, and then exhale, lift your hips up into the air, press your hands into the floor, lift your hips up to a fold. Let your head be relaxed here. Good. Now bend your knees and inhale, sweep your arms up, come up to standing. Come up to standing. Reach your arms overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart center. And then alongside your body in Tadasana. Just close your eyes for a couple of breaths. Feel the strength of your Tadasana. And we'll open up to the long side of the mat. So open up into a wide stance, long side of the mat. And interlace your hands behind your head. Great. So we'll come over to the left side with a side bend and then forward fold any amount, coming through the middle and then side bending to the other side and back up to standing. So we're making a little circle with the upper body. I'm not going very deep here, so you just do what feels right to you. So elbow reaches over towards the left, and then there's a little bit of a fold, and then elbow reaching to the right and back up to standing. So a little circle, circling through the torso with arms behind your head. And then we'll take it in the opposite direction. So reach right elbow towards side, and then a little bit of a fold, and over to the left and back up. So just circling the torso around. Go as deep as you want. It might just be that you kind of bend at the cervical spine, maybe a little in the thoracic, but you're not going very deep in the forward fold. And we'll be back in the center, hands on hips. Take a deep inhale here, lengthening through your spine, and then a slow exhale as you fold, hands to the floor or to a block. Feet are wide. Take your left hand right underneath your sternum and inhale, sweep the right arm up into a twist. On your next exhale, reach the right arm forward, reach forward as far as possible, and then inhale, twist again. Maybe your gaze is up at your right hand, maybe down at the floor. Next exhale, reach your right hand forward. Again, lengthen through your right side body, and then inhale, twist, right arm comes up. Keep your neck relaxed. Do that a few more times. Exhale, reach forward, and inhale, sweep the arm up. Next exhale, reach forward, and then bring your right hand back down to the earth, both hands on the ground, and just take a few pelvic tilts here. Really small motion, or almost like a cat-cow in this position. So really just feeling into your lower back, and then right hand comes underneath your sternum. Inhale the left arm up, sweeping the left arm up, twisting to the left. Exhale, reach the left hand forward, and inhale, sweep the left arm up. All right, a few rounds here, maybe 4 rounds here. Exhale, you reach the left arm forward, squaring your shoulders back to the floor, and then inhale, sweep the left arm up. And then next time you reach your left arm out in front, go ahead and set your left hand on the floor and walk your hands forward so that your upper body is in downward facing dog. The legs are spread wide. Relax your head and your neck. And then just draw left inner thigh towards right inner thigh. Right inner thigh towards left inner thigh. So the hips are just moving side to side slightly. Inhale to walk your hands back towards your body, so hands are right underneath your sternum, and then heel toe feet together. Bend through your knees, reach your arms forward, and press up to standing. Reach your arms overhead, and then come back to Tadasana. Arms to the side, palms forward. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms up, and exhale. Fold through center. Any amount of bend in the knees is fine. Hands to the floor. Step back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, drop your knees to the floor. Reach the sternum away from the navel. Exhale, come back towards child's pose. Inhale, come to all fours. Sternum reaches away from navel. Exhale, turn the toes under, press up and back. Downward facing dog. At the end of the exhale, bring your right foot forward between your hands, the left knee to the floor. And then on your inhale, sweep your arms up. Palms together, take a gaze. We'll stay here for 2 breaths, taking your right wrist with your left hand, side bend to the left. Keep the pelvic floor lifting, and the exhale nice and long. Next inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Turn the back toes under and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, drop your knees, come to the cow shape, reaching your sternum away from your navel. And exhale, round and set your hips back, child's pose. Inhale, come up to all fours, sternum away from navel. Exhale, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. At the end of this exhale, left foot forward, right knee to the floor. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Palms facing one another. Good. And then take the left wrist with the right hand and side bend to the right. For 2 full breaths here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Step forward, forward bend. Okay. Inhale, drop your hips into the squat. Reach your arms forward. Exhale, press your hips up as you press your hands into the floor. Now step your feet back to downward facing dog once again. Inhale, drop your knees, come to all fours, lengthen your sternum away from your navel. Exhale, set your hips back, child's pose. Inhale, stand up on your knees, reach your arms overhead, palms face one another. Take a gaze at your hands. Exhale, draw your navel up and in as you reach your hands forward, come back to child's pose. Inhale, come up to all fours, reach sternum away from navel. Exhale, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. At the end of this exhale, bring your left foot forward between your hands, right knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Good. And then this time on the exhale, you'll come into a twist. So either forearm to the outside of the left leg or maybe your elbow. And then you can take a bind. So the left hand will come around and reach for the right thigh. So you're twisting in this figure 90-90. Good. Take a full round of breath. Then inhale, sweep the arms back up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your knees to the floor, stir them away from navel. Lengthen through your front body. Exhale, bring your hips back towards your heels in child's pose. Inhale, stand up on your knees, sweep your arms up overhead, palms facing one another. Exhale, draw your navel up and in as you come back to child's pose. Inhale, all fours, sternum away from navel. Exhale, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. At the end of your exhale, right foot forward, left knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, twist to the right, either forearm to the outside of the right thigh or maybe your elbow. See where you're at, and then you can take a bind with the right hand reaching around for the left thigh. And the next inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Step forward, forward fold. Any amount of bend in your knees is fine. Next inhale, drop your hips, come to the squat, reach the arms forward. Exhale, press your hands into the floor as you lift your hips. Forward fold. Good, then hands to the mat, step your feet back into high Dandasana. Then lower knees, chest, shin, all the way to the floor. Make a little pillow with your hands. This is crocodile. And rest your forehead on the pillow. Feet wide apart. And then press into your forearms, lift your head, lift your legs off the mat. Release, let your forehead come to the floor, release your hands, interlace your hands behind your back or take opposite wrist with opposite hand. And then draw your arms off your back as much as possible, lifting arms up, lifting head and shoulders, and lifting legs. Stay here for 2 full breaths. Feel into the engagement in your back. Release. Come down to the ground with your forehead. Bring your hands to your low ribs. Press yourself up through all fours and back towards child's pose. But leave the hips high now. And take forearms to the floor. Either parallel to one another, or you could interlace your hands. Good. And then just bring your hips right and left. Let the back of your neck be long, so let your head really just go here. And then turn toes under and press your hips up. Come to dolphin. You could rock a little bit back and forth if you want to make it a little more fierce. Bring your nose down towards the mat and then back to the starting position. So bring your rock forward, bring your forehead and nose towards the mat, and then come back. Or you could just stay in the dolphin. Drawing shoulder blades apart, pressing firmly with your forearms into the floor. Next inhale, drop your knees to the floor and then reach your hips back towards child's pose, arms extended out in front. Come all the way down into a full child's pose now and bring your arms alongside your body, full Balasana. Next inhale, sweep your arms up, stand up on your knees. Palms face one another, take a gaze at your hands. And then exhale, reach your hands out in front as you draw your navel in, reach Your hips back towards child's pose. Inhale to cow, sternum away from navel. Exhale, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. At the end of your exhale, bring your right foot forward, left knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Take a side bend to the right, grabbing your left wrist with your right hand. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Turn the back toes under, lift the back leg off the floor. Keep your left hand where it is and inhale, sweep the right arm up in a twist. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your knees, lengthen your sternum away from your navel. Exhale, hips towards heels, down, back to child's pose. Inhale, stand up on your knees, sweep your arms up overhead, palms face one another. And as you exhale, draw your navel in, giving you that strength to come down safely to child's pose. Inhale, come back up to all fours, lengthen sternum away from navel. Exhale, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. At the end of this exhale, left foot forward, right knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Take a side bend to the left by grabbing your right wrist with your left hand. And then back to the starting position, arms just overhead. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Turn the back toes under and lift the back leg. Then leave your right hand where it is and inhale, sweep the left arm up in a twist. Exhale, hands down around the front foot, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, drop your hips, reach your hands forward, and you're in a full squat here. And as you exhale, hands to the mat, hips up in the air. Good. Take a couple rounds of breath in this forward fold. Maybe you can even scoot your hands underneath your feet, palms to soles of the feet, and take your toes and kind of massage the palm of your hand. You can bend your knees here and you mount. And releasing hands, we'll step back to downward dog once again. Inhale, come to your knees, lengthen your sternum away from your navel. Good. Then take the tops of your feet to the floor and sit back on your heels, Vajrasana. And just rest your hands in your lap for a couple rounds of breath. Close your eyes down. Lengthen through the back of your neck. How is it now? How is it now? Beautiful. Next exhale, stand up on your knees, reach your arms overhead. And then just resting on the exhale, hands to heart center and hands to hips. So we'll turn the toes under now. So you're standing on your knees, turn the toes under. And we're going to inhale, right arm up, left hand comes towards the left heel. So it's sort of a half Ustrasana, and then inhale, come back up. You take both arms overhead, and then exhale, bring the right hand to the right heel, and a little side bend to the right. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, left hand to the left heel, so you're coming back into the camel. Little back bend here, good. Feel this out. Inhale, take it one more time to the other side. And then inhale, both arms up. Exhale, draw your navel in as you come down towards child's pose. Tops of the feet can come back to the floor. Inhale, come into cow, drawing your sternum away from your navel. And exhale, turn your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Beautiful, everybody. And then inhale, come forward into Dandasana. And exhale, knees, chest, chin, come all the way to the floor. Let's come into the Sphinx now. So elbows underneath shoulders. Right? Lift. Draw your elbows back isometrically. Tops of the feet into the floor. And you could take a gaze over one shoulder and over the opposite shoulder. And then come back down to the floor, slide your hands to your low ribs, press yourself up through all fours, turn your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Draw your kneecaps up, tighten the legs. Inhale, come to your knees, lengthen your sternum away from your navel, and then tops of the feet to the floor. Set your hips back on your heels, Vajrasana. Rest your hands on your lap. Lengthen the back of your neck. Take a couple breaths here. Next inhale, stand up on your knees and bring your right foot forward. Leave your left foot behind and turn the toes under in your left foot. So right foot is forward, left foot back. So you're kind of in the 90-90, but we have the toes turned under in the back foot. And now we're going to inhale and sweep the right arm up as we reach back for the left heel. Okay, so reaching back for the left heel with the left hand, right arm up. So we're in a side bend to the left, side bend with back bend. Right foot forward. Now really keep the integrity of your 90-90 here, your legs. So the pelvic floor is lifted. And then inhale, come back up with both hands. And then exhale, reach the right foot forward and reach your hands down, sort of mid leg. So your right leg is extended, heel on the floor. So you're in a hamstring stretch, half Hanuman sort of. If you need your blocks, grab your blocks. If you want your blocks beside for your hands, I can get my fingertips here. But do take care of yourself. Then walk your hands forward as you bring your right foot to the floor. Now you're back in a low lunge, right hands framing the right foot, turn the back toes under, sweep the right foot back, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths in this downward dog, maybe feeling into a little bit of pelvic tilting, full cat-cow. Just let it be a restorative downward dog. Head is relaxed. And then inhale, come to your knees, draw your sternum away from your navel. And then set your hips back to your heels, Vajrasana. Rest your hands on your lap. Inhale, stand up on your knees, sweep your arms up. And we'll take now the left foot forward, the right foot back. Turn the back toes under. Sweep your arms up. Take your right hand to your right heel as you side bend over to the left. Keep a really strong base in your legs. Draw your pelvic floor up. One more round of breath. And then inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, you're going to take your front leg, straighten it. Bring your hands about mid-leg. So you're resting on the front heel. You can have blocks underneath your hands. Draw the left hip back. Tuck in any amount. A nice stretch. Nice stretch on the left hamstring. Then rock forward, sole of the left foot to the floor. Hands framing the front foot. Turn back toes under and step forward. Forward fold. Okay, bend your knees, take your hands to your hips, and come up to standing. Tadasana. Great work, everybody. Take a few rounds of breath, getting settled here. And then with wall space, without wall space, lots of options here. I'm just gonna kind of kick my mat out of the way for a sec. We're gonna come into Vrikasana, the tree pose. So you can bring your weight into your right foot and your left foot to your inner thigh. Option one. If you can come into the half lotus position with the left leg, you can. See how my balance is sitting. And you could take so it's my left knee that's bent, my left foot up in my groin if I'm going for this half lotus position. And then my left arm reaches around, my left hand reaches around behind and takes my right arm in a bind, or the toes of my left foot. And then I can even come into a little bit of a fold here. Just choose where you would like to be. Then we'll step out wherever you are, step out. That felt really difficult for me today after all that bouncy climbing. And we'll go to the other side. So left foot, right leg into the right thigh or calf or top of the foot. And again, if you want to try going for the half lotus, be careful with the knees. And maybe the right arm reaches around, takes the left arm in a bind. Come into a little bit of a fold. Wherever you are, come out slowly. Take both feet to the floor, about hip distance apart, and just bounce your heels. Bounce your heels. Let this follow through into the rest of your body. All right, shake the legs out, and then inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold through center, hands to the floor, step or jump back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, and as you come forward with the right leg, bring your right knee towards your right wrist and extend your left leg long in a pigeon type shape. So my right foot is tucked in sort of underneath my groin, and I'm just gonna rock onto my right hip and then onto my right shin and onto my right hip and onto my right shin. Just back and forth, just rocking, a little rocking motion. And then the next time I drop onto my right hip, I'm gonna open up and turn to my extended leg, my left leg, and just do a bit of a fold towards that leg. All right. So then I'm gonna rock back onto my right shin and then do that same motion. So I'm gonna rock from shin to hip. Left leg is extended long, and then next time I touch my right hip down, I just open up and turn to the left leg. Take a gentle fold here, gentle fold. Turning back around, coming back onto my right shin. I'll turn the left toes under, lift up, press back to downward facing dog. Great, inhale the left leg up and bend through your left knee, bring your left knee towards your left wrist and come down, extend the right leg long and come down into a shape, a pigeon type shape. So I have my left foot tucked into my groin and I'm just rocking onto my left hip and then onto my left shin, back and forth, nice and gentle, just feeling some movement in my hip. And then the next time I set myself on my left hip, I open up towards the right leg, the extended leg. Okay, so I'm opening up towards that extended leg. And then coming back onto the left shin. I'm just going rocking from the shin to the hip. Touch my left hip down, open my body up to my right leg, my extended leg, do a little fold there. Great. Then from here, just sit right up and take feet together in Baddha Konasana. Sitting tall, sitting against a wall, whatever works for you. Okay. Great, then we'll take both legs straight in the Dandasana shape. Let's bring the right leg back into Hero's Pose, Virasana. So right leg comes back. Okay. And then left leg, left foot. If you can come into half lotus, you'll bring your left foot into your right hip crease. Both knees are on the floor. You can also take your left foot underneath your body so that your left foot is nestled right underneath your right ankle. Right? Either one. Either one. Sit up nice and tall and then twist to the left. Right hand, the palm of the hand to the outside of your left leg. Your left hand behind you like the kickstand. And if you want to go into a little different kind of twist, you could turn your palm down towards the floor and bring the back of your hand to the outside of your left leg. So many options. If you have your left foot tucked underneath, you could still do that same hand option with the right hand, either palm to the outside of the left leg or turn the palm under and have the back of your hand against the leg. Good. Now, as you twist to the left, bring your head back forward. Okay. Now from here, we just slowly release the hands first and a little counter twist. Bring your feet, both feet in front and sit in Sukhasana. Sit up nice and tall and just a little bit of a forward fold. Sort of just neutralizing the low back and the hips again. Then the Dandasana. All right, now the other side, so we bring left leg into Virasana. Right leg can be underneath so that the sole of the right foot is being supported by the left ankle, or you could bring the right foot into half lotus, both knees on the floor. So this can sometimes be a little bit strenuous on the top of your ankle. Twisting to the right, right hand, palm to the outside of your right leg, or turn the palm out and slip the back of your hand against your right leg. And that can be done no matter what version you're doing with your legs. Twisting to the right, and then derotate the head back to the center. So you're looking back at me. Right hand is behind like a kickstand. Take a couple more rounds of breath here, see if you can soften your face. And really nice long exhale. Really lengthen the exhale. And slowly unwind, counter twist, then Sukhasana again, or fire pose, changing the shape of the leg. So whichever leg was in front last time, put the opposite leg in front, and just a teeny bit of a fold forward. And we'll take legs straight out in front again in Dandasana. Bring your palms or your hands or your fists into the floor, fingers back, feet underneath, feet bent, knees bent, feet on the floor, and lift into a reverse table. Then keep the hips lifted if you can and slide. Might have to go to the fist, slide your hips back and come back to Dandasana. So now hips behind, or hands behind hips or beside hips. Nice long back through the back. Just right here in this Dandasana, maybe a little bit of a forward fold if you feel so inclined. Then we're going to slide the hips towards the feet. You can take a half boat here, full boat, but work your way down to your back. Take everything long, stretching one heel away, the opposite heel away. Maybe a figure four feels nice here. Nice sensation in the outer hips. Just take a few minutes to sort of come back to a more quiet, stiller, more still orientation. Take another twist or come back to the windshield wipers with the knees. And then any version of Shavasana that feels right for you today. Could be just in a position of comfort with the knees resting together. Legs up the wall if you have a wall space handy, or put your feet, lower legs on a piece of furniture and rest that way. Let's see if you can really access a real restful position for Shavasana. Of course, traditional Shavasana always a great option as well. And then just begin to let go of any effort. Without trying too hard, just let the exhale really be long and full. So really emptying with your exhale. Soften the spaces on your face, around your eyes, your mouth. And just continue to inhale into a soft belly. And full exhale. You could finish with your hands on your heart. Just awareness of any gratitude you have today. If you'd like to join me, you can come up to your seat slowly and stay in Shavasana if that works for you. If you come up to your seat, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Just thinking about all the places where unrest is still the norm, where people are not able to rest peacefully. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we find healing and peace. Thanks for being here today. Namaste.